the entire chat, tardive chat. Now, here is something that I like the sentiment of, but I don't, obviously it's probably not going to happen. It's probably just this is probably just a yapping point. This is probably just a yapping point. But I do like the sentiment behind this. Trump proposes a trilateral agreement with China and Russia to mutually draw down military budgets by 50%. One of the first meetings I want to have is with President Xi and President Putin. And I want to say, let's cut our budgets in half.
One of the first meetings I want to have is with President Xi of China, President Putin of Russia. And I want to say, let's cut our military budget in half. And we can do that. And I think we'll be able to do it.
Elon Musk identify
one of the first meetings.
Like I wish. Okay, this is the thing. Is like, yes, this is probably just yapping. It's probably not going to happen. Like, but it would be very nice. Like, it would be nice if everyone could just stop spending so much goddamn money on military, on constantly like ramping military production against each other, and we could use that money to help our own fucking people. Like, the sentiment behind it is bad. Let's not try to shit on everything, right? And say that the sentiment behind that is a good thing. No, yeah, noble idea. Probably not. Obviously, the issue is that you're probably never going to be able to get people to agree to this, right? Like, it's just an impossible get for people. It's just not going to happen. More than likely, it sucks. Like, it's not going to happen. It's probably just him pie in the skying, but nothing. No agreement like that's going to happen. American budget would still be more than those countries anyway, too. Yeah, and then there's the other point of, like, you don't... More than likely, the U.S. would try to circumvent that and still spend more money. Yeah. So that it could be the best and the biggest. Even if they all agree on it, no one involved would actually implement it anyway. I feel China will be the last person to go through with it since they're on the roll, but Russia might since they're going down the shitter. Russia, yeah, I would actually kind of agree with that. I think Russia might... Putin might be, like, their economy is in such a bad place that Putin might actually be okay with it to try to get a PR win. China, no. China never. China is in too good a position right now with their global power. They understand it. And the U.S. is just too corrupt. The military-industrial complex of the U.S., it runs too much of our economy. They would never go for that. As long as we get fucked, too. Yeah. Yeah. Putin's insane? I don't actually think Putin's insane. I think that a lot of people are very ignorant to the realities of why the Ukrainian war happened. And, like, there is a logical reason behind the Ukrainian war. It is not a moral or an ethical one, but there's a logical reason by the Ukrainian war. Because this is something that I think maybe a lot of you don't know. Russia's society was literally is on a path already to collapse in about 50 years. They have an hourglass age gap right now. No, it's not. No, it's worse than that. It's a pyramid. Less and less people are being. So let me explain something about social security and how a government functions. For things to function, there needs to be a relatively even distribution into an upside down pyramid of financing. Okay, you cannot have a pyramid. You have to have an upside down pyramid of age ranges in a country for something like a social security net to work. Because if it doesn't, it goes out of business. Because this is the problem: is that the more people that are on benefit programs and the less people that are paying into it, eventually the money will dry up because too many people are living too long and the system doesn't function anymore when you have too many people on it. This is a key problem that's been happening in Russia, not with just that, but also with resources. Their resources have been dwindling all over the years. Economists had projected that Russia was going to collapse in on itself by somewhere around 2050 to 2060. A little farther out, possibly. why they invaded Ukraine was not because Putin's insane. It's not because he wants to reform the USSR. Those things are probably true to an extent, right? He probably really does want to be the big dick bump and be like in charge of big swaths of land for his personal ego. But the reality was they were doing it to try to take the arable and mineral-rich land. It was about the land, and it was also about the population. They thought that it could be an easy get to quickly take over Ukraine and get... Ukraine, by the way, had a extremely young population. Which, if you get a 2-3 day war and you take over an entire country and you are able to increase the young population of your country by 15%, that can help offset that issue massively, and it helps also offset the issue of your resources. You get all this arable, farmable land immediately, which is huge. It's huge for your population. It's huge for your exports. It was a big deal. There's a lot of things about the Ukrainian war that made sense on paper. Is it ethical? Of course not. It's fucking trying to take over a goddamn country. It's strong-arming somebody. It sucks. It's an awful thing. But it's not just he's doing it because he's doing it. The problem was, once he got into the war, they're locked in. If he pulls out, he looks weak. So it's this never-ending game of chicken where the war has gone worse and worse and worse. It has drained the economy of Russia. It is destroying them, but he is stuck. He is stuck in. He can't pull out, or he looks weak, and then that can result in him literally dying. Like, Putin will... Something you guys need to understand. Putin will literally be dead. He will quite literally be fucking shot in the back of the head if he looks too weak. The people will pull a coup on him. They will take him out. Someone else will take his place. He needs to look strong visually to others. And that's why he is pushed through, despite the massive losses to his personal finance, the massive loss to his country, the massive losses to his economy, because he knows he's fucking dead if he pulls out before he can make it a PR win. It's crazy. It's crazy, but this is international politics. This is how it's situated. Yeah, essentially the Crimean invasion blueprints. Crimea was extremely successful. Yeah, they thought there was going to be another Crimea, and then it wasn't. I'm going to chat myself into 10 years penitentiary. No, you be careful. Unless you're in the NHS, you have black magic somehow. Although remember, the northeastern tip of Ukraine is like 70 miles from Moscow over flat ground. The butthurt over Ukraine joined NATO. NATO is that it would be a gun pointed in the head of Russia too. Yeah, there's other reasons too. There's a lot of reasons behind it. It is not as crazy as it seems. But it is still, it's crazy, but it's still not as crazy as it seems from his perspective, from his position. Ultimate control, because he didn't even get a slap on the wrist for the blatant eradication of human rights over there for years and years. Yeah. Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, a game of fiction for people who fundamentally can't give up, yeah. Ukraine could also not pull out. The recovery's completely fucked on that, yeah. Proximity's wild. It's like if we're living in Tennessee and a war was taking place in Texas. Kiev to London is the same distance as NYC to LA. There's a lot of realpolitik reasons for what's happening. You just have to sift through the propaganda bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Commanding a Russia victory is just telling Putin he can invade who he pleases without meaningful American opposition and tell Eastern European countries that they can't rely on America and Western Europe in defense. All in the name of peace, never will Chamberlain type shit. I actually kind of disagree with you, Mono. I think that, honestly, what needs to happen for the negotiations with Russia, I think they need to give... I think the only way out of this is for them to give a little bit of Ukraine to Russia, a small part of the land, and so he can act like it's a W. Because I think that it's still not going to be a W. I think that even with that little piece of a win, I think even with that little piece of a win, he's only going to be able to just pull everything out and just say he won and look strong enough. I think that the economic damage that this war has caused will probably put Putin off of invading anywhere for a long time, if ever again. This was too destructive. Like, you need to understand just how bad this was on the Russian economy. This was abysmal. Their currency, okay, let me look at, ruble. Let me explain to you how bad this is, okay? So, when did the war start? What was the exact date of the war start? Does anyone know the exact date of the war start? Was it in 2021? It was 2022. Okay. So, the ruble in 2022, it dropped off a cliff. It lost 50% of its value. Now, it sprung back up. It boosted back up from 2022. Wait, no, was it? Oh, wait, hold on. I think that, what was the, Russia invades Ukraine date. I need the exact date. It was February 23rd. Okay. So in February 23rd, it skyrocketed through the floor. And then it grows again through April and up to June. And then it held at honestly actually higher value than it did in 2021. But then since December of 2022, the ruble has lost. Okay, so it was at pre-war, it was at about 0.014. Right now, it's at 0.011. It has lost about 30% of its value. And it's not recovering. At worst, it lost an entire percentage point. Like, it was down to another, it gained another 0 at one point. Given also the location, it's about the size of a small town, and it hands them a dub so Putin doesn't get double tapped or the real ghouls in the office. Yeah, see, that's what I think. Like, the reality is that it needs to be negotiated and the war needs to end. Ruble's doing better recently. Is it doing a little better? But do you think even if America cuts its budget in half, our budget will still be more than the next 7 countries combined? Yeah, oh yeah, of course. The economic damage is insane. What if he does it later for another part of Ukraine? That is wish casting and assumptions. It's what ifs. Something needs to be done now. Like, he literally can't militarily back down. Like, he can't because he's dead if he does. Like, he's actually dead if he does. So there needs to be not a major appeasement. There needs to be small appeasement. I think is the only way to end the war. But I don't think it's going to happen again because listen, I'm telling you, if it happens again, then he would be insane. That would be actually crazy because the amount of money that they have lost, what they have lost from this war, is exponentially more than they will potentially gain after it ends, even with appeasement. I would surely love 300% inflation with the groceries and the jobless crisis because people are dead and immigration and the economy is dying. Yippee. Yeah. War is good for the economy, motherfuckers, when all your troops get slaughtered and the war just stagnates. Yeah. The stagnation of the war and the never-ending back and forth has been it's just a money pit. They're constantly burning cash in it, and it is they've burning money. They've been losing. The other thing that you need to understand about how bad this war is, do you know how many young people Russia has lost through this? It's ridiculous. It is a ridiculous amount of people. They have lost fucking hundreds of thousands of young people to death, and then even maybe even an equal number to people fleeing the country and going elsewhere. That hurts their demographics massively. Their age demographics are fucked, like completely fucked. It's so bad because you know who is not leaving? It's the old people who are on that Social Security net. The people who were draining the coffers are not leaving because they don't have much. Thank you for the follow. They don't have the ability to, or they are too complacent in where they are. But the youth, young people, are not complacent. They will just up and leave because they haven't lived there their whole lives. They can see the potential of a brighter future. Like it's bad. It's really bad. It's really, 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 really bad for Russia. Crimea was a financial loss that costed over other regions massive budget cuts too. Feel like unless Putin gets all the Ukraine, he will get tapped out. I think that he can. I don't think he'll get tapped out as long as he gets something. He does. I would put it past the government to still double tap in name of peace. Yeah, it's a lot. The military situation over there is a lot. We have more though, chat. We have more outside of.